Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day to everyone. Today our group will be presenting about the impact of minimum wage. Currently in Malaysia, the minimum wage is RM1,700 per month. This policy is intended to protect low-income workers from exploitation and ensure a basic standard of living. On this slide, we can see, according to New Straits Times, Malaysia minimum wage has increased to RM1,700 starting February 1st, 2025. While this seems like a positive step, but we must see the second issue, the inflation. As reported in July, Malaysia's inflation rose by 1.2%, especially due to costlier service. This means even though wages are going up, cost of living also rising. So the real question is, it is enough to meet daily needs?
Hi, I'm Muhammad Akmal. Next, I will explain the effect of minimum wage issue on employers. From a positive perspective, the minimum wage policy provides workers, especially those in the B40 income group, with a guaranteed basic income. This helps them meet essential living costs such as food, rent, and transportation. In addition, fairer pay can increase job satisfaction and motivation. When workers feel that their efforts are valued, they tend to be more loyal and committed to their jobs. This can also reduce the risk of exploitation and irresponsible employers. However, on the negative side, the minimum wage of RM1,500 is still not enough to cover the rising costs of living in Malaysia, particularly in big cities. Many workers struggle to pay for housing, childcare, and other necessities. As a result, some are forced to work overtime, take on multiple jobs, or even go into debt just to survive. This situation often leads to stress and fatigue, which can affect both physical and mental health. In the long run, financial pressure may cause job dissatisfaction, lower productivity, and higher turnover as employees leave to seek better opportunities. Therefore, while the minimum wage provides some protection, it does not fully solve the challenges faced by employers in coping with the high cost of living.
I'm Muhammad Ilyas and I will explain this part. On the positive side, minimum wage can actually reduce requirement and training costs because employees are more likely to stay longer with the company. It also helps to strengthen the company's reputation and brand image as the organization is seen as fair and compliant with labor laws. In addition, it can lead to be better labor relations since workers feel more secure and this reduces conflicts between employees and employers. However, there are also negative impacts. First, profit margin may decline as companies need to spend more on wages. As a result, some employees may be forced to reduce their workforce or freeze hiring in order to manage expenses. Finally, to cover these higher costs, companies might need to increase the prices of products or services, which could affect competitiveness in the market. So overall, minimum wage has both benefits and challenges for organizations.
Hi, my name is Haris. If the issue of minimum wage and the rising cost of living is not addressed properly, it could lead to the serious consequence for both employees and organizations. First, the employee turnover rate will increase as workers leave for jobs with higher pay and better benefits. Higher turnover means companies will spend more time and money on recruitment and training new staff. Second, employee productivity will decline. When workers are under financial stress, they may lose their focus, feel demotivated, and experience burnout, which is directly impact the work performance. Third, there could be wider social problems such as increasing household debt, higher urban poverty rates, and a growing gap between the rich and the poor. This issue can also trigger dissatisfaction among the public. Ultimately, if these challenges are not handled effectively, they may damage the organization's reputation, reduce business competitive, and even threaten the stability of the national economies.
Now, let us move to the solutions and conclusion of our presentation. To address the issue of minimum wage and the rising cost of living, we suggest several solutions. First, the government should review and adjust the minimum wage according to the actual cost of living in different locations. Second, companies can support their workers by providing additional allowances such as transportation or housing to ease the financial burden. Third, organizations should invest in training and skill development programs. This will allow employees to upgrade their abilities and qualify for higher paying positions. 4. Companies can also introduce welfare schemes such as insurance or food subsidies to improve employees' well-being. In conclusion, this issue is not only about workers' income, but it also affects organization and even the national economy. From our discussion, we have seen that while the minimum wage provides basic protection, it is still insufficient against the rising cost of living. Workers face financial stress, organizations face higher costs, and if left unresolved, it can lead to turnover, low productivity, and wider social problems. However, with the right solution and support, this issue can be managed effectively to ensure better employee well-being, organizational stability, and stronger economic growth for the country. Thank you. Better pay, better life.